So, hello, my tubies. Here, dear Uncle Birch here with a rant. I haven't done just a rant in a little while. I don't remember if I've done a rant lately, but the world leads me to rant occasionally. And this latest thing, I heard this story, and it brings me to ranting time. The other day in Sri Lanka, a tourist couple from France was convicted of insulting the Buddha by taking a photograph of them kissing a Buddha statue. It's apparently something that's normally punishable by death, but they were sentenced to 6 months hard labor, and then the sentence is suspended, whatever exactly that means. I guess it means they don't have to serve the sentence, but they were convicted of it anyways. But it's punishable by death to kiss the Buddha statue. I have read some Buddhism, and I think I have a pretty good understanding of who the Buddha was, and I think he would totally dig being kissed. If petting his belly gives you good luck, I think he'd probably want to be kissed too. So it leads me to this rant. These people being offended in the name of God, being offended for their gods or for their spiritual masters, in this particular case, it's gone too far. You know, we hear about it all the time. We hear about it from the Christians, the Muslims, all the major religions, and now the major spiritualities, apparently, doing the same crap. Now, as a witch, I was taught about God, that, you know, God is the god and goddess, and that God is a perfected version of ourselves. In other words, everything we could ever hope to be, that's God. The best case scenario of what we would ever hope to be. Now, I would think, for me, I would want to be free of silly emotions like jealousy, anger, hate, revenge. These are human frailties. Human frailties that we attach to the gods. And, you know, it's been that way since, you know, as far back as anybody can remember. I mean, remember the Roman and the Greek gods and what they did, the issues that they had. But they never came down and said they had issues. People said they had those issues. People attach their frailties onto their gods and then seek vengeance in the name of those gods. It's ridiculous. So I have said it enough around my people, and I figure, you know, maybe I need to say this to the world, because I never hear anybody say this. If your God, or your goddess, or your spiritual master cannot take a joke, cannot take criticism, if you criticize Muhammad, you're put to death. If you make fun of him, you're put to death. If they can't take a joke, they can't take criticism, they can't take questioning their authority, then you do not have a God. You have some lower spirit masquerading as God, or you have some delusions in your head that you're calling God. God should be better than us, bigger than us, not full of the same crap that humans are full of. Spreading it around the world, you know, people, wars, entire nations falling because somebody offended somebody's deity. Really? Did somebody's deity come down and say they were offended? I don't even know that that's happened. I mean, sure, we've got the biblical accounts, and then we can debate forever if those happened or not, but since those books, I recall no Buddha, no Jehovah, no Muhammad, no Allah coming down and saying anything. Anything. They've said nothing, and nobody's even alleged that they said anything, because in a lot of these religions, alleging that they said anything beyond the one holy book, well, that's blasphemy too. Well, we don't have a blasphemy. Witches don't have a blasphemy. Our gods are good-humored, fun beings, and sexually active. I would definitely do my goddess. And that is not a sin. That's not blasphemy. I think if I often kiss statues of my gods and goddesses. I'm often blowing kisses to them. They're not offended. Why would you be offended by a kiss? It's an expression of love upon the graven image of your spiritual master or your God or whatever. So that's basically the message. God isn't fucked up like you are, so shut the fuck up. All of you people, blowing people up in the name of God, on and on and on. God wouldn't want any of this crap. Come on. God is the God and Goddess, all things that are, and better than us, bigger than us, perfect. Maybe that's the difference. We were taught perfection in the old craft, and that we are trying to achieve that perfection, and that perfection is to become the likeness of the gods, to become like the gods, to eventually be freed from this wheel of incarnations and become a star in the heavens, with your own planet circling around you, or something really lofty like that. Everybody's got their own versions. But God is not a jealous, tweaky piece of crap. Now, and that's the one I always like to rant on anyways. In the Old Testament God says, I am a jealous God. Thou shalt have no others before me. Well, first of all, what are you jealous about? I thought you were the only God. But you just said you're jealous and that you shouldn't have other gods before me, indicating that there's other gods. Other versions of God. So I've always wondered about that one, but just in there, the tweakiness of the Old Testament God is not worthy of worship. Any deity that can't take a joke, can't take criticism, can't take question, just asking the question about its supreme authority in the heavens, isn't worth worship. Isn't worth looking up to, is more worth looking down on, spitting on. That is not my God. That is not my goddess. So although we have similarities and we recognize that all gods are one God, they all come from the same thing, I don't know who these other beings are that the main religions and spiritual paths on the earth are worshiping, but it ain't a God. And if it actually ever came to you and said all that stuff, maybe it's Satan, even though I don't believe in Satan. But it sounds more like something that their view of Satan would do than something that God would do. Loving Father my ass. How can one religion be right? That's ridiculous. And that's kind of my problem with some of the mainstream religions. They tell the most ridiculous, implausible stories ever told. And then if we don't believe them, we're forced at sword point to believe them. We are threatened with hellfire and damnation. Remember that thing I said, if you only are a good person because you're worried about the backlash, then you're not really a good person? Well, you know what? If you worship Jesus only because you don't want to go to hell, well, I hope Jesus kicks you out and sends you to your hell. If that is the only reason that you worship your gods, then you're just scared. You're just scared and you don't want to get hurt, and that's not worship, that's not love, that's not worthy of anything looking up to. And apparently I could rant about this forever. I'm just going on and on and on. I kind of wanted to see how long my phone will go. That video's over.